Hi there, Becky here from 168 Fitness. So over the past few weeks I've been giving you my step-by-step advice on how to achieve your health, fitness and weight loss goals before Christmas with my guilt-free Christmas plan. Hopefully you've already got started and you've made some progress so far. You've started with some exercise and been doing that each week. That's great if you have. If you haven't, make sure you get started straight away. We've still got a few weeks now until Christmas, so there's always time to get started and to be feeling the benefits, but the sooner you do that, the better. So this week I'm going to turn my attention towards food and what you need to do. If I'm going to focus mostly on if you're looking to lose a few pounds. It doesn't matter how much weight you're looking to lose, but even if you just wanted to lose a little bit of weight so that when Christmas comes or party season comes, you can just sort of relax a little bit and maybe overindulge a bit more than you usually would and not have to worry about it. Your jeans will still be doing up come January. So weight loss, what you need to do in terms of food. Now we've already talked about exercise, burning calories. That's fantastic. I encourage you to keep that going, and I always start my advice always starts with exercise, because I always think that gets you in a positive mindset. You feel like you're being proactive, and it gets the endorphins, the happy hormones pumping around your body, so you're more likely, hopefully, to be making better food choices and lifestyle choices based on the fact you're doing exercise already. So always say start with that, but then obviously food does come into it as well, because for weight loss, whether you like it or not, unfortunately it does come down to calories. There is no other way to lose weight other than making sure that the energy you expend is greater than the energy you consume, or vice versa, that you eat less than you are burning. That's how you create that deficit. You need the calorie deficit in order to lose weight. And the deficit can be anything. It can be really small or it can be bigger. And as long as you do this, if it's smaller, you need to obviously be doing it for longer. So it's going to take weeks or months to achieve your goals, which is fine, because I like to do it nice, kind of slow and steady, not drastic weight loss. That isn't usually sustainable. So if even a small deficit is better than no deficit. But obviously the greater the deficit and the longer you do it for, the more weight loss you're going to get and the quicker you're going to achieve your goals over time. So so creating that deficit. So there's kind of two ways to look at it, and well, three ways maybe. There's three ways you can think about it. So to create that deficit, you can either focus on the moving more, and that would be like exercising more, being more active, walking places rather than driving, taking up exercise, doing more exercise than usual, doing longer, etc. So you're burning more calories, just moving more. The other way to look at it is to eat less. So you're cutting back on whatever kind of you need to focus on, whether it's fasting. You could take on a diet as such. You could be fasting. You could be cutting out carbs. You could be doing any of those. You could just be reducing portion sizes, etc. Any way of any method of reducing your calorie intake. Or the third option, which is my preferred option, is a combination of both of those things. You may still have a bit of a preference. Personally, for me, I always like to move more to create that deficit, because I love my food and I don't want to have to deprive myself, which you shouldn't be depriving yourself, but sometimes the reality is, in order to get the results that you want, you're probably going to have to cut back a bit on some of those foods that you love and you don't want to cut back on. It's hard, but it's true. The third option, my preferred option, doing a bit of both. So you're moving more, but you're also cutting back a little bit on those things, those foods, or alcohol or drinks, whatever it is, that you know are kind of wasted calories, or they're not necessary, they're not going to help you, they're not going to help you achieve your goals, they're not necessarily the best energy or fuel for your body. those sort of things as well. So like reducing your calories by some percentage and increasing your activity by a percentage as well. So you create that deficit. So yeah, that's my preferred option. So that's what I would encourage you to do. That's what I encourage your clients to do. And then obviously you want to know how to do that. So unfortunately, everyone is different. Like I said, my preferred option is to move more, but I will also reduce my calories by, let me give you some examples. So breakfast, my preferred breakfast is probably, I do love porridge, but my favourite breakfast is probably granola with yoghurt and berries. But I know that if I have a bowl of granola, that's probably, I don't know, 800, 700 calories, maybe 800 calories at worst, if I have a bowl full of granola. However, if I have my second favourite breakfast of chocolate porridge, which is just the cacao powder with oats and coconut milk or coconut water, that is going to be 400 something calories for the same sort of size quantity of food, but it's just not laden with loads of sugar. So I can straight away reduce my calorie intake by sort of 300 to 400 calories by that first meal. So that's one example. So another thing, snacking, I love peanut butter. If I was just could eat whatever I want and not have to think about calories or like kind of energy consumption, then I could probably eat a jar of peanut butter a day. Not great, but I probably could because I love it. I wouldn't be able to do it many days in a row, I don't think, but I could definitely do it on a few days each week. So I like either rice cakes or toast, peanut butter. So I do like to measure how much I'm using peanut butter wise. So rather than just sort of spreading it as much as I want, because I know that if I just did that, I would probably have twice the amount that I would have if I'm measuring it. So that's one of the things I like, measuring your food, having like, you don't not have the peanut butter if you love the peanut butter, but just have less of it. That would be my next thing. Then for lunch, thinking about sort of if you have a for me at the moment, I love sort of like eggs on toast or beans on toast or something like that, something warming, something that's going to keep me full for the afternoon. But if you would usually have, I don't know, a pasta pot or jacket potato with beans, you might want to swap that for beans on toast, for example, because a jacket potato and beans, or if you have beans and cheese, for example, you might want to not have the cheese and just have the beans, because that's going to knock a good couple of 100 calories off straight away. So it's little things like that at each meal that you don't feel like you're not dieting as such, and you're not counting calories as such as well. You're just being more aware and just sort of taking notice and just making some small changes that over time will have an impact on your weight and hopefully help you achieve your goals. So it's doing those things, but the key thing to think about is that you've got to do it consistently. It can't just be for one day that you make all these healthy swaps and like lower calories and moving more to burn more calories. It's got to be consistently. It's got to be it's difficult to put your finger on how long it's going to take. I know that for me, my body changes. I feel like it takes about 6 weeks, basically. So to give you an idea, it's going to take between now and Christmas to feel these benefits. But that's okay. Just think about it. Don't think of it like, oh, it's going to take 6 weeks, maybe. Think of it as that in 6 weeks' time, you're going to feel amazing. Think of it that way. Be positive. Think of the journey. Like 6 weeks isn't that long in the grand scheme of things, is it really? So try and focus on the end of the journey, like how you're going to feel once you've put in that effort, and just get on with it. Yeah, because the sooner you start, the sooner 6 weeks are going to be at the end, and you're going to be feeling great. So, but saying that, some people losing weight straight away, week 1, week 2, feeling the benefits. I mean, I'm not saying I don't feel the benefits, but sometimes it does feel like sort of the turning point is 4 to 6 weeks later down the line. So be aware that it doesn't happen overnight. You need to do it consistently, reducing those calories in, burning more by exercising more, the combination of those two will help you to lose weight ahead of Christmas. Some other points that I want to talk about. Think about what's worked for you in the past. If you've lost weight before using, I don't know, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, or any kind of diet, cutting out carbs, going gluten-free, counting calories on MyFitnessPal, things like that. Whatever it is that you did before, reflect on that. Like if you did it and it really worked and you felt good and those times are happy memories and you feel really positive about how you did it before, then that may be the thing that you go back to, that's how you lose the weight this time. If you think about it and you think, oh, it was just so much hard work, I really didn't like it, it was really restrictive, didn't work for me, my lifestyle, my family, all of those things. If you've got negative feelings towards the way you did it before, the methods you did it before, then that's not the right thing for you, because it won't work, because you are already feeling negative towards the method or however you did it before, and that's fine. It doesn't matter. Not everything works for everyone all times, so there's plenty of other ways you can lose weight. And just to say, like, I know I said it's all about calories, but like all of those plans that I just listed and all of those methods that you can do to help you lose weight, they are all about calorie kind of restrictions, and even going gluten free. Like I try and be gluten free as much as possible because I know my body prefers to not have gluten, but definitely at some point, and sometimes in some occasions now, I know that being gluten free does mean that I will eat less than if I wasn't gluten free, because when you go out for coffee and there's cake there, the chances are the cake you want has got gluten in it. So if you don't eat gluten, then you're probably not going to have the cake that's got the several hundreds of calories in it and fat and everything. So then you're reducing your calorie intake like that. So it can work, and I'm not against these kind of plans, or like kind of, they are a bit fad diet kind of things. I'm not necessarily against them. If they work for you and they have worked before, or you want to try it, you think it will work for you, then give it a go. It's not the end of the world if it doesn't work out for you, but just go in with it thinking that this has got to be a lifestyle thing. You've got to do it consistently, and for a period of time, maybe 4 to 6 weeks at least, to see the results. Don't go into it thinking it's going to happen overnight or in a week or something. If you don't think it's going to be sustainable, it's probably not worth starting with, to be honest. You've got to find something that works for you, and your lifestyle fits with you. So think about what has worked and what hasn't worked, and then base your future sort of action points based on those things. Feel free to contact me if you want to clear anything up, or ask for advice or clarification on any of the plans I've talked about. But yeah, and then my key thing is keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things, because we're just about to go into a really busy time for most people, leading up to Christmas. Lots of parties, lots of family things, lots of celebrations and fun time, and you don't want to be overcomplicated. You don't want to be overthinking things, like feeling rubbish just because like you're counting calories or anything like that. Keep it simple. Like the most simple way for me, and what I would recommend people, is to use MyFitnessPal. Like, I just think it's such a fantastic resource. The fact it's free, all that information's there, it's on your phone. We've got our phones with us all the time. As long as you get into the habit and you use it honestly and often, you will lose weight, as long as you stick to the goals that it sets you. So that is really simple to use, and I would highly recommend it. But any of the other plans, like I say, if you don't like MyFitnessPal, don't use it. Or if it didn't work for you before, don't use it. But if you have used it, or you haven't given it a go before, then give it a go, see whether it will work. Don't go into it thinking, oh, it won't work for me, I don't want to count calories. Because unfortunately, the only way to lose weight is to be more aware of those calories that you're consuming and what you're burning as well, because we don't always know how much we're eating or how much we're burning off, and so you just need to sort of be more aware of those calories, get into some good habits, and you'll be achieving those goals in no time. Talked for a long time. My voice is about to go, probably, because I've had a bit of a sore throat recently. But hopefully you found that useful. If you've got any questions, please do get in touch. I'll be back next week with some more top tips.